evening. I'd like to call this regular meeting of the Show Low City Council to order by roll call. See that all council members are present at this time. I'd like to welcome those of you who are with us here tonight, as well as those who may be watching at home or some other telecommunication device. We're grateful for the opportunity we have to meet in a free country, and would like to begin this evening with an invocation and a pledge of allegiance. For those who would like to join with us, we've asked staff member, our city attorney, Morgan Brown, if he'd lead us in invocation, after which we've asked Bill Cup to lead us in the pledge. Please stand.
Council meeting, grateful for the blessings we enjoy and for the rain that we receive to bless our area and bless our city. And we're grateful for those that serve our country and for those that serve locally. We ask the blessing to be upon this meeting, that we'll make good decisions and that we will always look to what is best for our city. And we say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
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 Please join for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Brown, Mr. Cup. Appreciate that. This evening we have a call to the public. Any citizen desiring to speak on a matter that's within the jurisdiction of the city may do so at this time. Please keep your time limited to 3 minutes. Seeing nobody move forward, I'll close call to the public and come back tonight. We have a special event here. We have Byron James from ADEQ, and he and Lisa would like to come forth at this time and share with us.
Good morning, Mayor and Council, or good afternoon, good evening, whatever it is. Byron James from the Arizona Department of Environmental Quality. I'm our community liaison for Apache, Navajo, and Gila counties. And I was here in November to present to the city a certificate of accreditation for preparing a small community environmental protection plan. The plan, among other things, helps the city manage its environmental activities and impacts. And it's that spirit of going above and beyond environmental compliance that leads to the certificate presentation this evening. On behalf of ADEQ, I'm pleased to present to the City of Show Low a certificate of recognition for being in ADEQ's, or Arizona's, Voluntary Environmental Stewardship Program. The program was created by the state legislature, and the purpose of the program is to recognize organizations and provide incentives for organizations that go above and beyond their basic environmental law requirements. So it's a pleasure to be here to do that today. The program has different levels. There's copper level, which is to recognize an individual or an organization for a project that they do that has a benefit on the environment. In terms of organizations, there's 4 different levels. There's bronze, silver, gold, and platinum. The city applied for recognition in the silver level and was accepted. And in the city's application, and I need to recognize as well Lisa Robertson and Jay Brimhall for their work on this. In the application, the city, of course, mentioned their small community environmental protection plan that's been prepared. That's a big part of it. But also the city detailed the recycling program that has been going on, the community recycling program. Since curbside recycling's been available, the city's been tracking the amount of waste collected and the tonnage of waste recycled to calculate a recycling rate. And that recycling rate has been increasing each year. And it's to the point now where it's our understanding it's about 14% of the total waste collected is recycled. And the city will continue to track and monitor how that recycling rate's doing. So for those reasons and many other reasons, we're grateful to make this presentation. The certificate is signed by our director, and it reads as follows. Certificate of Recognition, City of Show Low, for your commitment to continuous environmental improvement through the use of pollution prevention and resource conservation measures that exceed statutory requirements and contribute to a cleaner, more livable community and environment. So, Mayor, congratulations to the city. And we're pleased to recognize you tonight. I'd just like to present this to you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, sir. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
For all you do for us too, Blair.
Thank you, Mr. James. We appreciate that. We also appreciate the work the staff did, Lisa and Jay, and for your efforts towards this. Our next item is the consent calendar. Look at the council if there's any items that need to be polled or reviewed. Not all list those items we have is a proclamation declaring September 17th through the 23rd Constitution Week, consideration of acceptance of construction of a water line improvements on Rogers Drive, consideration of resolution number 2015-22 approving intergovernmental agreement with Navajo County for videotaping and production services, and a consideration of the resolution number R2015-24 approving intergovernmental agreement for the lease of facilities with Navajo County, and the consideration of resolution number 2015-23 adopting Title VI policy statement and implementation of plan regarding non-discrimination in city programs and activities. And then item F is a consideration of acceptance of the demolition project for future public safety headquarters building. And then we have the minutes of the regular meeting of September 1st. See, I look for a motion. Councilwoman Kakavas, seconded by Councilmember Alsop. Any other discussion? Call for the vote. All those in favor? Any opposed? See that passed 7-0. This time I'd like to read the proclamation that has been given here. Whereas we, the people, in order to form a more perfect union, did ordain and establish a Constitution of the United States of America to secure the blessings of liberty for ourselves and our posterity. And whereas it is important that all citizens fully understand the provisions, principles, and meaning of the Constitution so they can support, preserve, and defend it against encroachment. And whereas we must always remember those who risk and sacrifice their lives to protect our freedoms and honor those who stand ready to take action every day to defend our nation, both here and abroad. And whereas the 228th commemoration of the adoption of the U.S. Constitution on September 17, 1787, provides an historic opportunity for all Americans to learn about and to reflect upon the rights and privileges of citizenship and its responsibilities. And whereas Public Law 915 guarantees the issuing of a proclamation each year by the President of the United States of America designating September 17th through the 23rd as Constitution Week to commemorate the framing of the Constitution of the United States of America by the Constitutional Convention. And whereas the people of the city of Show Low, Navajo County, Arizona, do enjoy the blessings of liberty, the guarantee of the Bill of Rights, equal protection of the law under the Constitution, and the freedoms derived from it. Now, therefore, I, Darrell Seymour, Mayor, on behalf of the Show Low City Council, do hereby join our state and nation and proclaim this week of September 17th through the 23rd as Constitution Week. In the city of Show Low, invite every citizen and institution to join in the national commemoration dated this 15th day of September. Each of the council members have been given some of the Constitution, little pamphlets here, and we have some at City Hall. If there's any citizen who would like to come and contact the clerk's office at City Hall, those are available for no charge as well. And we just, one of the things that we need to realize that we all took an oath to protect this Constitution and the great freedoms and liberties we have. So this time we're grateful to have this on a record here with the city. Next item we have is new business. Item A is consideration and termination of contract with Architectron, Inc. for architectural and engineering service for public safety headquarters building. Mr. Brown and Mr. Muter.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll start, and Mr. Brown may need to add something later, but on December 2nd, 2014, the Show Low City Council entered into a contract for architectural and engineering services for a new public safety headquarters building at 411 East Doosa Clubs. Architecton Incorporated was selected pursuant to the construction manager at risk process outlined in ARS 34-603. In the interview process, potential architects were informed of the existing budget of $3.25 million for designing, remodeling, and renovating the facility. City staff met with Architect Hahn and the contractor, Core Construction, to agree on a design for the facility that would meet within the project budget. After several months of meetings, it was apparent that to keep the city's priorities to maximize space in the remodel, including the second story and constructing the building's interior to city standards and exterior, more money was needed in the budget. The city subsequently increased the construction budget to $3.85 million during last year's budget process, or during this year's budget process. Following the increase, city staff continued to work with Architect Hahn and Core to get the project within budget after changing several design concepts and materials and reducing square footage. City staff expected the building to be within budget. However, project costs did not decrease in line with the amended scope and budget. Despite continuing negotiations, it is apparent that the architect and contractor cannot complete the project within the stated budget. City staff asked Architect Hahn to submit a final bill, a copy of which is attached to your packet this evening. The city had previously paid Architect Hahn $93,541.85 per the scope of the work in the contract submitted by Architect Hahn. Upon completion of the design development stage, the amount due and owing was $115,000. Under the contract, the architect was allowed $10,000 for reimbursable expenses. Architect Hahn is billed $2,318.01 for reimbursables to date. The total amount due and owing under the contract is $23,776.16. Staff would recommend that we terminate the contract pursuant to paragraph 13C of the contract, termination for convenience, and releasing the final payment to Architect Hahn in the amount of $23,776.16 upon receipt of all data, designs, calculations, drawings, specifications, reports, estimates, summaries, and any other information materials developed or accumulated by Architect Hahn in performing this contract. And Mr. Brown or myself or other staff are available if you should have any questions.
This time we have any questions of council? See no council member Hatch?
I would make the motion with a comment before.
Okay.
I know that the city and the staff has been working diligently to get this project off the ground, and it's evident that there's been some scope creep that has caused this to get clouded. And sometimes it's hard to step up and change directions in the middle of things, but it's most prudent to do that. Therefore, I'll say I move to terminate the contract with Architect Hahn Incorporated for the architectural and engineering services for the Public Safety Headquarters building located at 411 East Deuce of Clubs, and release final payment to Architect Hahn Incorporated in the amount of $23,776.16 upon receipt by the city of all data, designs, calculations, drawings, specifications, reports, estimates, summaries, and any other information materials developed or accumulated by Architect Hahn in performing this contract.
We have a motion, a second by Vice Mayor. Any other discussion? Councilmember Alsop?
Thank you, Mayor. You know, I also want to thank staff, Ed and Bill and the people that's been working on this. If everybody listened to it at the very beginning there, that we had a budget that we wanted to spend, and we didn't want to go over that. And you had two people here, plus the rest of City of Show Low, that's standing their guns and making sure that this thing comes in under budget or right at budget. And I think that stands highly for the staff that we have. And so I want to thank them for stepping up and doing that. Thank you, Mayor.
Any other discussion, comments? This time I'll call for the vote. All those in favor? Any opposed? See that pass 7-0. This time we have consideration of termination of contract with Core Construction, Inc. for pre-construction service for the Public Safety Headquarters building. Mr. Muter, Mr. Brown.
Thank you again. On January 6, 2015, the City Council entered into a contract for pre-construction services for the new public safety headquarters building at 411 East Dusa Clubs in an amount not to exceed $34,630. Core Construction was selected pursuant to the construction manager at risk process. Core was selected to do pre-construction services to work with the architecton during the design phase to provide cost-saving measures. After the design was complete, the city could have entered into a contract for a guaranteed maximum price to construct the building with Core. This is similar to the last item, and we were unable to develop a project within the council-approved budget. And therefore, city staff asked Core to submit a final bill. Core indicated it would not submit a bill for any more services. They stated that if they weren't able to complete the job and they didn't want to bill the city for any more money. We had previously paid them $17,315. Staff recommends terminating the contract pursuant to paragraph 13 of the contract for convenience of the city, which indicates that the city can terminate the contract at its sole discretion if it is in the city's best interest to do so. If approved by the council, city staff will provide written termination notice to Core as required by the contract. Again, we're available for any questions.
Any questions or comments? Councilmember Alsop.
I'll make a motion. I move to terminate the contract with Core Construction, Inc. for pre-construction services for the public safety headquarters building located at 411 East Dusa Clubs with no further payment to Core Construction, Inc.
Councilmember Kelly, second.
I'd like to second that.
Okay, any other discussion, comments? I just want to thank Core for what they did, stepping up here and trying to work the best they could. I mean, they've done a couple of buildings for us. They've done a good job in the past, and when they recognized they couldn't do it, they recognized that they had failed, and I appreciate their attitude that they had in going forward and doing what they did. And, you know, I sat on the committee when we chose these people, and it was hoped that they had, you know, followed our direction and was able to get a building built, but at this time we'll go another route, so appreciate that. No other discussion? I'll call for the vote. All those in favor? Any opposed? See that passed 7-0. Next item is summary of current events. Any council member wishing to share any events that they've been working on or summary may do so at this time. Councilmember Alsop.
Thank you, Mayor. Just want to report that I went to a mayor and council meeting last week at here in Show Low with all the other cities and towns around us, and great informative meeting. We're all working together, and I really appreciated everything that was going on, and I want to give a real thankful for Mr. Mooter and Mr. Cupp for getting the sidewalk on North Clark Road fixed. I appreciate that very, very much, and so does the people who walked that. Thank you.
Thank you. Vice Mayor.
Just to remind everybody, the Navajo County Fair will kick off tomorrow at 10 o'clock, and it runs all the way through Sunday
Great event. Anyone else?
in Holbrook.
Find your way that north.
You don't know.
That's good. I have no report. City Manager?
A few items to report. There are 2 more Saturdays left to shop at the Weekly's Farmers Market and Art Walk from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Festival Marketplace. That's for the next 2 Saturdays. There's a BMX track, a race this Saturday, September 19th at Nicholas Homestead Park. Registration at 9 a.m. The Aquatic Center is accepting applications for a 3-on-3 water basketball league and for fall swim lessons, with both beginning in October. On Saturday, October 3rd, the Recreation Department is sponsoring a free mountain music jubilee from 6 to 9 p.m. at the senior field at City Park. For any of these events or other recreation events, 532-4140 to get more information. In Public Works projects, work continues on the water line project in Fairway Park and on road improvements in Show Low Heights. Paving scheduled to on some of the roads in Show Low Heights to begin next week. And we appreciate everyone's patience in those projects. In addition, we want to report that improvements on Wolford Road will begin next Monday evening, September 21st, and they're going to work at that project from 8 p.m. until 6 a.m. in the morning. They'll do patching, crack sealing, and drainage work All the work's being done at night, and the road will be closed to traffic from 8 PM to 6 AM. However, we want the public to be informed that motorists should expect and encounter reduced construction speed zones and possible lane closures during daytime hours. And that project's expected to be completed by October 2nd. The second annual business boot camp for new and startup business owners is Saturday, October 10th, from 9 AM to 3 PM at the Symposium Room at Northern Pioneer College. You can call 532-2680 for more information on that business boot camp. We've been asked to advertise that a limited time tax recovery program offered by the Arizona Department of Revenue. It's an opportunity for individuals and corporate taxpayers to file and pay back state taxes without civil penalties or interest. Taxes include income tax, transaction privilege taxes, and use tax. Applications must be received no later than November 2nd by the Department of Revenue, with all tax liability paid with the application. You can go online to Arizona Department of Revenue or call 1-844-698-9176. And finally, our police department is meeting with various community groups to warn about online sexual predators of underage girls and boys. They are sharing an eye-opening video on YouTube called The Dangers of Social Media. Our police chief encourages all to watch that, especially parents. It's an experiment that shows how easily minor children whose parents claim that they would never succumb are tricked and lured into meeting total strangers. It's important. The police department's been going around to different community groups doing presentations on that. So it's something that is important for parents to learn and know about. And that's all my report this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? I just want to thank our city manager and city attorney. They've worked hard with a lot of other people with the youth group here and they just completed their final leg of that this year, the golf tournament and things there. But they did a great job for what they do on the side to make our youth have a little more funds to be able to go out and to help. And we want to appreciate these two guys for what they do and other people in the city who helps them as well on their own time. We have scheduling meetings here. Anybody want to schedule another meeting?
Want to?
Okay. We are not going to move to executive session tonight. We just have the minutes there. So I need a motion to adjourn.
So move.
We so move. All those in favor? See, that's unanimous. I'll adjourn this meeting.
Dang. That's something like that.
We're still
Good at
on.
those less than
We're still
30-minute
on.
meetings.